The beeping intrudes first. Steady, mechanical, unfamiliar. My eyelids weigh 1,000 pounds, but I force them open to white. Blinding white walls, white ceiling. White machines with blinking lights surrounding me like sentinels. Hospital. I'm in a hospital. Memory returns in fragments. Pain stabbing through my abdomen. The office floor rushing up to meet me. Claire's voice calling my name sounding very far away. I try to lift my head, but my body refuses to cooperate. An IV line snakes from my arm to a bag hanging beside me. The monitors continue their rhythmic beeping. Tracking a heartbeat I can feel pulsing weakly in my chest. "You're awake." A nurse in purple scrubs appears at my bedside, checking the monitors. "How are you feeling, Lauren?" My throat feels like sandpaper. "How long?" I manage. "You were brought in yesterday afternoon. Surgery went well, but you gave us quite a scare. She adjusts something on one of the machines. Your family's been notified. The doctor will be in soon to explain everything." "Yesterday. I've been here over 24 hours. I turn my head slowly, painfully, to scan the room. No flowers, no cards, no jackets draped over chairs indicating someone stepped out momentarily, just empty space. Beyond my door, the corridor bustles with activity nurses rushing past, visitors clutching coffee cups, the occasional burst of laughter. All that life and movement flowing past my room without entering. No one came. "My phone," I whisper. "Where's my phone?" The nurse retrieves my personal belongings from a nearby cabinet. My fingers tremble as I scroll through missed call from Claire in the hospital, none from my parents or Madison. No texts asking if I'm okay. I tap Instagram out of habit, muscle memory taking me to Madison's profile. The most recent post stops my breath. Madison stands beaming between our parents at what must be the Humanitarian Award Gala, all three in formal wear. Dad's arm wrapped proudly around Madison's shoulders, Mom's smile radiant. The caption reads, "So blessed to have my entire family supporting me tonight. Blessed, Humanitarian Award, family first." Posted 18 hours ago, while I was in surgery. The monitor beside me begins beeping faster, matching my accelerating heartbeat. The betrayal registers physically a hollowing out beneath my ribs, colder than the sterile hospital air. My mind flashes back to the night before my collapse, hunched over my laptop in the empty office, ignoring the growing pain in my side, desperate to finish the presentation that might save Dad's business. "Lauren, you look terrible." Claire had appeared in my doorway with concern etched across her face. "You need to see a doctor." "Just one more spreadsheet," I'd promised, rubbing my side. "My family needs this to work." I remember standing to reach for another file. Then nothing. The door swings open, pulling me back to the present. Claire walks in balancing 2 coffee cups, her expression brightening when she sees me awake. Then her eyes narrow, taking in the empty room. "You're the first visitor," I say before she can ask. Her face darkens. "That's impossible. They said they called your family yesterday when it happened." They must not have gotten the messages. The excuse sounds hollow even to my ears. I've been making excuses for them my entire life. Claire sets down the coffees with deliberate care. "Lauren," she says gently, "Madison posted from the gala during your surgery." I stare at the ceiling, unwilling to let her see how much that knowledge hurts. Maybe they didn't understand how serious it was. Claire opens her mouth to respond when my phone pings with a new message. Madison's name appears on the screen, and for a second, hope flutters in my chest. "Need $65K as soon as possible for gala expenses. Can you wire today?" "No, how are you?" "No, where are you?" Not even a casual "hey sis." Claire watches as the color drains from my face. "What happened to me?" I ask the nurse when she returns. Exactly what happened? She consults my chart. Ruptured appendix, internal bleeding. You went into cardiac arrest during surgery. She hesitates. Your heart stopped for 83 seconds before we could resuscitate you. The room falls silent except for the steady beep tracking my heartbeat. The heartbeat that had ceased for 83 seconds. "I died," I whisper. "Technically, yes," the nurse confirms quietly. I look at my phone, at Madison's demand for money, at the Instagram post celebrating their entire family. Something shifts inside me, a tectonic plate moving after years of pressure. When I speak, My voice sounds different, even to my own ears. I died for 83 seconds yesterday, I tell Claire, and no one in my family even knows. Are all the beats in the chapter written? Yes, all the beats have been incorporated. Lauren waking in the hospital, realizing she's alone, discovering the Instagram post, the flashback to her collapse, Claire arriving with coffee, Lauren's defense of her family, Madison's text asking for money, and the pivotal realization about dying for 83 seconds. That same afternoon, the sun slants through hospital blinds, casting prison bar shadows across my bed. I've spent hours staring at my phone, at that damning Instagram post, at Madison's demand for money. Each ping of a new message makes my stomach clench, but none contain the words I crave. Are you okay? Claire burst through the door, her normally neat bob windblown, arms clutching a thick manila folder. Something in her expression determination mixed with fury makes me sit straighter against the pillows. What's that? My voice sounds stronger than I feel. Evidence. She drops the folder on my tray table with a solid thump. I called Margaret. My lawyer. Why would you? Just look. Claire flips open the folder, revealing hospital forms on top. She taps a signature at the bottom, supposedly mine. Is this your handwriting? I squint at the looping scrawl. It resembles my signature, but with subtle differences. The L curves wrong, the N too pronounced. No, that's not mine. That's what I thought. Claire spreads more documents across the tray table like a dealer laying cards for a losing hand. These are consent forms for your surgery. Authorization for blood transfusions, financial responsibility agreements, all with variations of this fake signature. My fingers trace the forgery. Ice spreads through my veins. Who would? There's more. Claire reveals bank statements, highlighting withdrawals in yellow marker. These are from your trust fund. The numbers swim before my eyes. $45,000 last month, $30,000 3 months ago, $25,000 for emergency family expenses, 6 months back. A pattern stretching years. I didn't authorize these. My voice cracks. I know. Claire's face softens. Lauren, I've been watching this happen for years. Your family takes and takes, and you give until there's nothing left. When you collapsed, I knew something wasn't right. A knock interrupts us. Margaret enters, her silver hair pulled into a severe bun, reading glasses perched on her nose. Behind her stands a woman in a tailored suit with a hospital administrator badge. Claire called her previously, so she came. Lauren. Margaret clasps my hand between both of hers. I came as soon as Claire called. The administrator steps forward. Miss Whitaker, I'm Diana Prentice. I need to apologize on behalf of Valley General. We accepted medical authorization documents that we should have verified more thoroughly. What documents? The room seems to tilt. Margaret pulls a chair close. Madison forged your healthcare proxy while you were unconscious. She authorized experimental procedures not covered by insurance procedures that would have been billed to you. Madison did what? The heart monitor beeps faster. Fortunately, Claire flagged the discrepancy before anything happened. Margaret pulls out more papers. But that led us to discover something worse. I've been managing your grandmother's trust for years, and… The trust fund for college? I interrupt. I haven't touched that since graduation. Margaret's lips press into a thin line. Someone has. $220,000 is missing, withdrawn over the past 3 years. The signatures don't match yours. My brain refuses to process this. That's impossible. My family wouldn't… Your father defaulted on his business loan last year, Margaret says quietly. Your mother's charity foundation is being audited for financial irregularities. Madison's humanitarian projects run consistent deficits. They've been using you as their safety net, Claire adds, her voice gentle but firm. My phone buzzes again. Dad's name flashes on screen. Need to discuss urgent business opportunity. Call as soon as possible. Must have $80K by Friday. The administrator shifts uncomfortably. We've placed notes in your file restricting visitor access and requiring ID verification for all medical decisions. I brought temporary injunctions. Margaret slides legal documents from her briefcase. These will freeze your accounts until we can investigate fully. I stare at the ceiling, counting the tiles to keep from screaming. 12 across, 8 down, 96 total. The same number of times I've made excuses for them. Lauren, Claire whispers, you don't owe them your life. My phone buzzes again. Mom, where are you? The Hendersons asked about you at brunch. What should I tell people? I look at the circle around my bed, Claire with her fierce protectiveness, Margaret with her legal arsenal, even the administrator with her professional outrage. For the first time in my life, people are fighting for me instead of using me. What do I do first? My voice surprises me with its steadiness. Margaret places a document before me. This revokes all previous authorizations and proxies. It's just temporary until we can file more comprehensive protections. My hand trembles as I take the pen. Pain shoots through my abdomen with the movement, the surgical wound a physical reminder of how close I came to death. I sign my namey real signature with deliberate strokes. This is just the beginning, Margaret says, but it's a good start. I hand her the signed document, feeling something shift inside me. Not just anger, though that burns hot enough. Something else rises from the ashes of my family's betrayal. Resolve. My phone buzzes again, but this time I turn it face down without looking. The new laptop that Claire lent me sits heavy on my hospital tray 2 hours later that day. My fingers hover over the keyboard, trembling not from weakness but from the magnitude of what I'm about to do. One by one, I change the passwords to every account my family might access: bank, credit cards, investment portfolio, email. With each keystroke, I dismantle the financial web that has entangled us for years. The monitor beside me continues its steady rhythm, a counterpoint to the chaos unfolding on my phone. 12 missed calls from Dad, 23 text messages from Madison, 3 voicemails from Mom, her voice shifting from concerned to irritated to coldly manipulative. Lauren, darling, we're worried sick. The falseness in her tone turns my stomach. Call us immediately. I silence the phone just as a nurse enters to check my vitals. Blood pressure's up, she says, frowning at the monitor. Something bothering you? Before I can answer, the door flies open. Madison stands in the doorway, designer handbag slung over one shoulder, sunglasses perched on her head. She barely acknowledges the nurse before zeroing in on me. Thank God you're okay. She drops into the visitor's chair without removing her coat. Listen, the gala committee is asking about the additional funding. I need $65,000 today or the whole event falls apart. The nurse's eyebrows shoot upward as she backs toward the door. I'll give you two some privacy. Madison doesn't wait for the door to close before continuing. Did you get my text? I've been trying to reach you for hours. I study my sister's face, the perfect makeup, the absence of worry lines, the expectation radiating from her like heat. How had I never noticed before? I almost died, I say simply. She waves this away. But you didn't, and now there's a crisis I need your help with. No. The word hangs between us, small but solid. Madison blinks as if I've spoken in a foreign language. What? No, I repeat, steadier this time. I won't be transferring any money. Madison laughs, a brittle sound. Very funny, but this isn't the time for jokes. Dad's already committed us to covering the shortfall. Then Dad can pay it. Her smile fades. But we're family, you always help family. That's what you do. I was technically dead for 83 seconds, I say, watching her face. It changes how you see obligations. Madison's phone buzzes. She glances at it, then back at me with narrowing eyes. Dad says you've locked him out of the joint account. Not a joint account. My account. Lauren. Her voice drops dangerously low. Do you have any idea what you're doing? Dad pulled strings to get you that job at Westridge. One call from him and... Are you threatening me? The door opens again, and Claire walks in carrying a stack of paperwork. She stops short, sensing the tension. Oh, hello, Madison. Madison barely acknowledges her. This is a family matter. Then it concerns me, Claire says calmly, setting down the papers. I've taken unpaid leave to help Lauren through her recovery. That's completely unnecessary. Madison turns back to me. Mom and I can handle. When? I interrupt. Between galas? Between award ceremonies? Madison stands abruptly. You're being dramatic and ungrateful. After everything we've done for you. I think Lauren needs to rest now, Claire says, moving to stand beside my bed. The gesture isn't threatening, but the message is clear. She's not backing down. This isn't over, Madison hisses before storming out. Claire exhales slowly. You okay? I nod, surprised to find it's true. Better than okay. Margaret called. She's working pro bono on those legal protections we discussed. The door opens again, this time revealing Dr. Patel. She carries my chart, her expression serious. Miss Whitaker, do you have a minute? I'd like to discuss your condition. Claire moves to leave, but I grab her hand. Stay, please. Dr. Patel pulls up a chair. Your appendix didn't rupture overnight, Lauren. Your body had been showing warning signs for months, pain, fever, fatigue. By ignoring those signals, your system was literally sacrificing itself to maintain function. Her words hit with unexpected force. I think of the late nights, the skipped meals, the persistent pain I'd dismissed as stress. When an organ ruptures, she continues, it's not a sudden failure, it's the final surrender after a long battle. I've been bleeding out for them my whole life, I whisper, the metaphor settling into my bones. Claire squeezes my hand as the doctor nods gravely. The good news is your body is healing, but recovery means more than physical repair. It means listening to those warning signals next time. After she leaves, I sink back against the pillows, exhausted but clearer than I've felt in years. The hospital staff move in and out of my room with a protective efficiency I've never experienced from my family. The head nurse brings extra blankets without being asked. The overnight aide sneaks in good coffee instead of the hospital sludge. Word got around about the forged healthcare proxy, Claire explains when I mention it. They're looking out for you. Around 9, when visiting hours end, Claire reluctantly leaves to feed her cat. I'm flipping through television channels when a soft knock sounds at my door. Come in? I call, expecting a nurse. Blake steps in hesitantly, Madison's fiancé looking decidedly uncomfortable in the hospital setting. His usual confidence is nowhere to be seen. Hi, Lauren. He hovers near the door. I know it's after hours, but the nurse made an exception. I study him warily. Madison send you to negotiate? No. He steps closer, lowering his voice. She doesn't know I'm here. That gets my attention. Blake and I have always been cordial but distant ships passing at family functions, nothing more. I wanted to apologize, he says, rubbing the back of his neck. For the gala. For how they've been treating you. I didn't know you were here until one of Madison's friends mentioned it yesterday. During the gala, I clarify. He nods, looking genuinely troubled. I asked why you weren't there, and Madison said you were handling some work thing. When I heard this morning what actually happened, he trails off, shaking his head. Why are you telling me this? Blake glances at the door before meeting my eyes. Because what I've been seeing isn't right. The way they talk about you when you're not around, the way they use you. He checks his watch and steps back. I should go, but check your email. There are things you need to hear. After he leaves, I stare at the ceiling for a long time, absorbing the strange new reality where strangers show more loyalty than blood. My phone pings with another text from Madison, but I ignore it, focusing instead on the steady rhythm of my heart monitor. 83 seconds dead and finally learning how to live. Next morning, the recordings sit in my inbox like landmines waiting to detonate. I stare at the laptop screen Claire brought from my apartment, the cursor hovering over Blake's email. The hospital room feels colder somehow, as if the truth emanating from my computer has dropped the temperature 10 degrees. You don't have to listen right now, Claire says, perched on the edge of my bed. You're still recovering. But I do. I need to hear it all. I click the first audio file. My mother's voice fills the sterile air, crisp and undeniable. Lauren was an accident. We only kept her because of appearances. Eleanor's laugh ripples through the recording. Madison was our planned child, our real legacy. My breath hitches. The words confirm what I've always sensed but never wanted to admit. The cursor trembles as I click the next file. Her credit score is pristine. My father's voice booms through the speaker. Lauren's never missed a payment. The banks will approve anything with her signature on it. Just use the stamp I had made. A forged signature stamp. The betrayal burns deep in my chest, competing with the surgical pain. Madison's voice comes next, high and carefree. I'll just ask the responsible sis for the money. She'll give it to Mesh, always does. It's almost too easy. Their laughter crashes against my ears like breaking glass. I snap the laptop shut, my hands shaking with a fury I've never allowed myself to feel. Margaret arrives an hour later, leather portfolio tucked under her arm. Her silver hair catches the fluorescent light as she pulls up a chair. I've been going through your financial records, she says, laying out documents on my tray table. Your signature appears on dozens of transactions you never authorized. Together we create a spreadsheet documenting every withdrawal, every loan, every forgery. The numbers climb past $500,000. My grandmother's house, the one I thought was being held in trust for Maysold 3 years ago, my signature perfectly forged on all the paperwork. This is more than family taking advantage, Margaret says, her voice gentle but firm. This is fraud. By evening, we've filed legal notices freezing shared assets. The hospital security has been notified about visitor restrictions. My phone buzzes constantly, but I've stopped looking at the messages. Lauren? My mother's voice comes from the doorway the next morning. She carries a cardboard box, her face a mask of concern. I brought some things from your childhood. Your old teddy bear, some photos. Emotional leverage. I recognize the tactic immediately. Put it down by the door, I tell her, my voice steadier than I expected. Your father isn't well, she continues, ignoring my instruction. His blood pressure is through the roof with worry about you. I really look at her perhaps for the first time, the perfectly applied makeup, the calculated concern in her eyes, the way she clutches the box of memories like it's a shield. I had a ruptured appendix, I say. Internal bleeding. My heart stopped for 83 seconds. She blinks, uncertain how to respond to facts she can't manipulate. You weren't there when my heart stopped. Something flickers across her face, shame perhaps, or simply the recognition that her usual tactics won't work. We're your family, she says, setting down the box. Family matters should stay private. I agree. I hand her the legal notice Margaret prepared. That's why I've revoked your access to my accounts. The power in the room shifts like a physical current. Eleanor's fingers tremble as she takes the document, her eyes widening as she scans the contents. You can't be serious, she whispers. I've never been more serious about anything in my life. She leaves without the response she came for, the box of childhood mementos abandoned by the door. After she's gone, I reach for the sketchbook Claire brought yesterday. My fingers move across the page, outlining images that have been forming in my mind. A heart monitor flatlined for 83 seconds. Empty waiting room chairs. Bank statements transformed into visual art. 83 seconds. I write at the top of the page. Not just an exhibition of photography, but evidence. My truth. Claire comes again with coffee, eyeing the sketches with approval. This is good, Lauren. This is healing. I nod, feeling strength flow through my pencil onto the page. They took everything they could from me. I tell her, but they can't take this. My 83 seconds showed me what matters and it isn't them. The pain medication wears off, but I keep drawing. Each sketch makes me stronger. Each line drawn is a boundary they can never cross again. We make plan, and in a month after I recover, we are going to execute it. A month later, the gallery bathes in amber light, transforming white walls into burnished gold. I adjust the final photograph, a stark black and white image of my hospital room doorway, the corridor bustling with life while my room sits empty, perfectly level now. 5 minutes until doors open, Claire calls from across the space, clipboard in hand. You ready for this? My heart hammers against my ribs, but my hands remain steady. 1 month since the hospital. 4 weeks of planning, gathering, creating, transforming betrayal into art. Born ready, I reply, smoothing my black dress. No navy blue tonight, nothing to remind me of the Whitaker family tradition, nothing to connect me to them except the truth displayed on these walls. The exhibit flows in brutal chronology. Hospital monitors with flatlined heartbeats. Empty waiting room chairs labeled with family names. My forged signature magnified beside my authentic one, differences highlighted in blood red ink. Financial statements transformed into stark data visualizations, bar graphs climbing like accusations toward the ceiling. Margaret approaches, legal documents tucked under her arm. Everything's prepared for when they arrive. If they arrive, I correct her. Oh, they'll come, Claire says, checking her watch. Your sister's been posting about attending a family celebration all day. I nod, throat tightening. Madison never could resist a spotlight, even one that might burn her. The doors open. People filter in, colleagues, friends, hospital staff who witnessed my recovery. Blake slips in quietly, giving me a small nod from the back wall. My co-conspirator in gathering evidence, my sister's increasingly uncomfortable fiancé. 30 minutes pass in a blur of congratulations and supportive murmurs. Then the gallery falls momentarily silent. They've arrived. Douglas enters first, my father's broad shoulders squared in his best suit. Eleanor follows, diamonds glittering at her throat, her practiced smile faltering as she takes in the first photographs. Madison trails behind, pulling at the sleeves of her designer dress, eyes darting around the room. Lauren, darling, Eleanor calls too loudly, arms outstretched for a performance hug. What a lovely event. I step back just beyond her reach. Please, look around first. The exhibit tells its own story. They move through the space like tourists in a foreign country, uncomfortable and increasingly alarmed. Eleanor's hand flies to her mouth at the display of hospital bills with her forged authorization. Douglas stops cold before the bank statements showing systematic withdrawals from my accounts over years. Madison reaches the wall of text messages, her own words enlarged and illuminated. Needs $65K as soon as possible. Can you wire today? Sent while I lay in surgery. Her face drains of color. What is this? Douglas hisses, grabbing my arm as I pass. I remove his hand, finger by finger. It's called 83 seconds. The time my heart stopped beating while you were all at Madison's gala. Eleanor dabs at her eyes, producing tears on command. Gallery patrons watch the performance with undisguised interest. Lauren, she whispers theatrically. Families have disagreements, but this public display is. Is what, Mom? Inappropriate? Uncomfortable? Like forging my signature on medical documents? Douglas attempts to salvage the situation, clapping me on the shoulder with false heartiness. Your mother's right. We should discuss this privately, as a family. Behind them, Margaret moves into position, documents in hand. The time has come. I walk to the small platform at the center of the gallery. Conversation dies. Even the ambient music fades. Thank you all for coming tonight. I begin, my voice surprisingly strong. This exhibit documents a journey that began exactly 1 month ago, when my heart stopped beating for 83 seconds during emergency surgery. The gallery falls silent. Those 83 seconds taught me what truly matters. Who shows up when you're dying? Who forges your signature when you're unconscious? My eyes find each family member in turn. Who asks you for money during your surgery without asking if you're alive? Madison shifts her weight, looking desperately for escape routes. Douglas's face darkens to dangerous red. Eleanor continues her performance of maternal distress. I spent my life fixing problems for people who never showed up for me, bleeding out slowly until I collapsed. Tonight marks the end of that pattern. I nod to Margaret, who steps forward with her documents. You're being formally served for fraud, forgery, theft, and violation of healthcare proxy laws. My voice doesn't waver. I'm not your fixer anymore. I'm done bleeding for people who never showed up for me. The crowd murmurs, but I hardly hear them. Claire and Margaret flank me now, a physical barrier between my family and me. Douglas lunges forward, mask finally slipping. You ungrateful little. Security will show you out, I interrupt, turning my back, walking away first. Behind me, chaos erupts. Douglas shouting about family loyalty and money wasted on my education. Eleanor's theatrical sobs transforming into genuine distress. Madison frantically typing on her phone, damage control already beginning. The gallery door closes behind them with quiet finality. In the sudden silence, I feel lighter than I have in years. The monitors tracking my breathing and pulse in the hospital had never shown readings as strong as I feel now. Claire squeezes my shoulder. You did it. I look around at the evidence of my family's betrayal, transformed into something powerful, something mine. No, I correct her, a smile beginning. We did it. The exhibition continues around us, the truth finally louder than any family lie. 6 months later, the sun breaks over the horizon, painting the Thai sky in watercolors of amber and rose. I capture the moment through my camera lens, the familiar click whir providing a rhythm to match my heartbeat. The golden light bathes my skin as waves lap gently against the shore, 30 feet from where I've set up my tripod. My phone buzzes on the beach blanket. Claire's name lights up the screen with a message that makes me smile. Just sold 3 more prints from the hospital series. The one with the empty chair is resonating. People keep asking how you captured such raw absence. I text back a quick thank you, then notice the other notifications. Unknown numbers, 5 of them. I swipe them away without reading and toggle the notification settings off. The silence that follows feels like freedom. My side no longer aches where they cut me open 6 months ago. The physical healing happened faster than anyone predicted. The emotional scars have taken longer, but even those are fading into something resembling wisdom rather than pain. The phone rings unexpectedly. St. Michael's Hospital from home. My stomach tightens from old habit before my breath steadies again. Miss Whitaker? This is Nurse Gomez from St. Michael's. I'm calling because you're listed as next of kin for Douglas Whitaker. He suffered a minor stroke and I'm no longer involved. I say, my voice calm and clear despite the 12-hour time difference and the early hour. His wife is his healthcare proxy. You should contact Eleanor Whitaker. But he's asking for you specifically, the nurse adds, confusion evident in her tone. 2 years ago, even 6 months ago, those words would have sent me racing to book flights, abandoning whatever I was doing. The weight of responsibility would have crushed my chest, stealing my breath until I fixed whatever crisis Dad had created. I understand, I tell her gently, but I live in Thailand now. Eleanor is his legal healthcare proxy. After I hang up, I stand motionless at the shoreline, waiting for guilt that never arrives. Instead, I feel the steady rhythm of my heart, the heart that stopped for 83 seconds and started again with different priorities. News filters through to me from home in fragments. The family business failed last month. Their house entered foreclosure last week. None of this information comes direct to friends of friends mention it in passing, unaware of the weight these details once carried. Madison's final message arrived yesterday. Everything's gone. We're bankrupt. I don't know what to do. 4 sentences without a single question about my life or well-being. I didn't respond. My laptop chimes with an incoming video call. Claire's face appears, champagne glass in hand, Margaret visible beside her despite the late hour back home. To the newest award, nominated photographer focusing on survival stories, Claire toasts, her glass catching the light from her apartment window. And to finally getting paid what you're worth, Margaret adds, lifting her own glass. We talk for an hour about everything and nothing: Claire's promotion, Margaret's new case helping another woman recognize her family's exploitation patterns, my upcoming exhibition in Bangkok in 3 months. The conversation flows with a genuine joy I never felt in family calls that functioned as strategy sessions for solving Douglas's latest crisis. In my room, I write in my journal while watching the sunset, family isn't DNA. Family is who shows up when your heart stops beating. Family is who sits beside your hospital bed instead of attending galas. Sometimes karma isn't revenge, it's simply stepping back and letting people face the consequences of their own actions. The heart rate monitor app on my watch shows a strong, steady rhythm. My phone lights up with a notification about the photography award nomination. I smile, then turn it face down on the table beside me. The sunset demands my full attention, and for once, nothing else feels more important.